It's time for Health District Television. Hello, I'm Brian Gresh. Welcome to HDtv, Health District Television, brought to you by the Southern Nevada Health District. First up today, the H1N1 or swine flu situation in Southern Nevada. It's not going away. Public Information Manager Jennifer Sizemore has the update for us.
Thank you, Brian. As many of you prepare to send your children back to class and we look forward to fall, it's only natural to have questions about what's going on with this sometimes confusing topic. So let's begin with the simple truth that public health officials in the United States are not entirely sure what this year's flu season will bring. Officials with the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control, and at local levels are closely monitoring the progression of the H1N1 virus and constantly updating their predictions and response modes.
The effort in the last 6 to 8 years for the country has been to do the planning in anticipation of how would we respond if we had such a severe catastrophic epidemic that the nation faced in 1918. But the severity of that epidemic was beyond anything we've ever seen before or since, and that's not what we're facing now. And so what we're trying to do is draw on what we've learned in that planning effort to try to use the best science we have to guide our intervention policies. And we need to balance being vigilant and taking every step we can in order to help protect ourselves, but not become afraid or panic at having to respond to an epidemic that isn't as severe as what we had feared and what we've been planning for the last many years. And that's a very delicate balance to try to communicate effectively about what we really need to do. And for example, we know that we don't need to close schools. We don't need to cancel public events. We don't need to be fearful. What we need to be is vigilant, and as we get more and more information, rapidly provide accurate information so we all together as a community can make the wisest decisions about how to protect ourselves, our families, and our loved ones.
By monitoring the current flu season in the Southern Hemisphere, CDC epidemiologists are able to track the progression of the H1N1 virus and its severity. And the good news is this new strain is not proving to be any more dangerous than what we encounter every year during our normal flu season. Remember, each year in the United States alone, we lose nearly 37,000 people to influenza. What's different this year is that there may be almost 2 flu seasons, the regular flu and the new H1N1 flu. And even if the new virus proves to be no more serious than normal flu, it still means sadly there will be deaths, usually in patients with other underlying medical conditions.
One of the challenges we will all have is to sort all of this cascade of information out together. We will have the regular seasonal influenza vaccine, just as we have every year, and that vaccine is targeted at individuals who have underlying serious illness or who are older than 60 years of age. And the reason for that is that's historically and traditionally the group that if they get influenza, they tend to get much more serious illness. And so we want them to get and continue to get the regular seasonal influenza vaccine.
So, we've established everyone should get their annual flu shot as soon as the vaccine arrives. And as always, one of the places they will be available will be the Health District offices. Details will be posted on our website and announced in the media. This shot won't provide protection against the new H1N1 virus, however, and depending on what the data shows, may not even be targeted at the same patient demographic.
There's this massive effort to try to make enough vaccine against the new strain. Now that new vaccine couldn't be added to the seasonal flu vaccine because that was already made. And the new vaccine is being prepared now. We're not certain exactly when it's going to be available and in what quantity. But our planning right now is that we think it's going to be available sometime in the middle of October, And when it's available, we'll be providing information to everyone. Because there won't be enough for everyone, we will have to make decisions about who is most in need of it based on the experience with the severity of infection and the amount of the vaccine that's available.
We expect recommendations to change and adapt as more information on the novel H1N1 virus becomes available, and we will have it on the Health District website as it does. Dr. Madaw mentioned the decision not to close schools in Clark County when cases of the new strain of flu are reported, and this seems to be an area of concern to parents.
The decision was made not to close schools because when you think about when you close schools, where are kids going to go? They're going to the malls, they're going to the theater, so they're still doing their social networking and they're still passing that virus around. When you close schools, you can't assume that kids will just stay home, safe and sound, away from other children.
Diana's point is well taken. When a disease is widespread in a community, school closures or social distancing policies are much less effective as a control measure. Simply closing schools gives healthy students a forced holiday and sends them into the community with potentially more chances for exposure to viruses. The school district's actions this spring when swine flu first appeared went well beyond what is required to do in order to protect students, give parents some peace of mind, and be a strong partner with the health district.
We sent in cleaning crews on multiple days after school was over to try to disinfect the school. And when there was a question about what kind of disinfectant we were using, we changed it to what the health district felt would be appropriate. And we sent information home. You know, if parents had questions, we answered the questions. We kept an ongoing watch on the number of students who were absent. We put information on Parent Link, which is a program the school district has where information can be sent to parents via the telephone.
And so, to put perspective on the H1N1 virus as we head into fall and back to school, you need to know that the health district, the school district, and all state and national public health agencies are closely monitoring the disease's progress. There may be a vaccine available later this year in limited quantities for those most at risk. So far, H1N1 or swine flu appears to be no more serious than seasonal influenza. Up-to-the-minute information is available to you on our website, on the school district's website, or by calling the health district. And our commitment to you is to provide honest, complete information as flu season progresses. Seasonal flu shots will be available in the weeks ahead, and we urge you to get one, understanding there may be a second one later this year, specifically targeting swine flu. Ways to prevent all types of flu are wash your hands often with soap and water, cover your sneezes and coughs, and preferably not with the hands you just washed. Use a tissue or cough into your elbow, stay home when you're ill, get plenty of rest, stay informed, and try not to worry. Brian, back to you.